Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Brian Plays. We'll be playing a classic, Super Mario Bros. 3, a game that the video industry owes a lot of credit to. And it was so good that the developers didn't even want to include a title screen song. So let's begin. A lot of conventions used in this game are now staples of the Super Mario series, such as the world map to pick levels. But this game came out in Japan in October of 1988. But the Americans would have to wait until February of 1990 to actually see the game. There's a lot of reasons for that, and I'll get to them. But let's just start the game up. And the directors of this game were Shigeru Miyamoto, who created Mario and other series such as The Legend of Zelda. And the other director was Takashi Tezuka, and he was put in charge of Super Mario Bros. 2, the Japanese version. And, you know, when you start the game off, you notice that the curtains draw open and there's a stage. And basically, the whole game is basically a play. And you can see here at these platforms here, they're bolted. And there's a lot of platforms hanging by lines and wires. So these are basically set pieces. When you finish the level, there's like you pretty much exit stage right. It's like the curtains towards the end of each level. So really, this is just I mean, you can say that this isn't really happening. It's just a play. This game also featured Mario transforming when you find certain pickups. Miyamoto really wanted to have Mario ride a dinosaur, but the capabilities of the NES and the Famicom did not support that. So that idea had to be scrapped. And we all know that in Super Mario World for the SNES, we finally got to see Mario on his dinosaur, which was Yoshi. So it eventually worked out. So the developers decided that transforming into different animals would be better, like the raccoon. You also have the frog suit, the Hammer Brothers suit, and the Tanuki suit, which is a raccoon, and that was based on Japanese folklore. And Miyamoto liked it so much that he knew American audiences wouldn't understand what it was, but he decided to keep it. Now, if you jump at that item with a full P meter on the bottom of your screen, as long as you don't lose any speed, you'll always get a star. So, Super Mario Bros. 3 is acclaimed by critics as one of the greatest video games of all time. And there's a lot of reasons why the game is so good. First and foremost, Miyamoto and his team, it was the Nintendo Entertainment Analysis and Development Department that designed the game. It was basically like 10 guys. It was Miyamoto and a few other developers. They worked non-stop, day and night, to make this game. And basically a new chip was developed for the cartridge that increased the capabilities of these games. And you will notice if you first got an NES, here's a little trick here I'm going to try out. If you notice the earlier games on the NES, they're very arcadey and have like one screen, and they're very simple. But if you go further into the library as the years went on, there were a lot more complex games like this. You had Battletoads and even Batman, a lot of games. And you might wonder, how come these games look better? Well, technology improved. You had chips that could be put onto the cartridges and on the information boards, and basically could hold more memory, more space. The chip that this game used enabled different types of scrolling, diagonal scrolling, and it also allowed for split screen. And you're always looking at the split screen right now. You have everything that I'm doing right now on the screen, and on the bottom you have the status bar. Now, when I move, the screen moves, but the status bar stays the same. It's pretty much static. And you needed an improved chip to actually be able to do that. So I'm gonna go back here for a second and show you something. There's an easy way to get one-ups here. If I do it correctly. I know time is running out. There we go. You just do this all day and get all the lives you need. So if you want to pass the controller off to your kid or a younger sibling that's maybe not as good, they have all the lives in the world to work with. Alright. But you can do that all day, and you can sacrifice a life, because when you beat a level, you can't go back. And this is a new feature too. No, you don't really need that. There we go. Now, if there's one thing they could have changed, it could have been going back to the levels. So, once Super Mario Bros. Came out in Japan, and development already began for Super Mario Bros. 2, which I played a few weeks ago on live stream. And the game was a huge success in Japan. And at that time, after '86, pretty much Mario fever was all over Japan. And you had music videos and merchandise, anything to do with Mario. So they knew that Super Mario Bros. 3 was inevitable. And Shigeru Miyamoto didn't really have that much time to work in the second Mario game. He left Tezuka in charge of that. And they made a difficult game, but there wasn't any real leaps and bounds with the graphics and the gameplay. Everything looked very similar. And of course I mentioned that Howard Phillips in North America, Nintendo of America, he rejected the Super Mario Bros. 2 as a game that Americans would enjoy. And Japan had to work on a new Mario Brothers game for America. And I mentioned that in Super Mario Brothers 2 and American and Japan version videos, so you can check them out because I don't want to go over the whole history again. But Miyamoto was busy working on Zelda, but Mario was his baby. He made Mario in 1981, and it was a success in the arcades with Donkey Kong and in Mario Brothers. So he actually had the time now to work on this sequel, and he wanted his whole development team to really break down every detail of the game until it fit his idea. Like, he was really nice to work with, but he was very picky, and he wasn't afraid to have a developer erase everything he did and start from scratch again. So this game took 2 years to complete, and they had a budget of $800,000. And Miyamoto, he served as the director. So, you know, originally they wanted an isometric view, which is like, you know, a diagonal view. But it was hard getting the design to work. By the way, you saw me get hit there, right? I didn't shrink. I just lost my raccoon ability. In the Japan version, regardless of what power up you have, if you get hit, you're small Mario again. So in the American version, you get an extra hit. Look, here's a little secret here. So, you know, when they looked at the isometric view, they realized it wasn't going to be good. So they said, we'll stick with the 2D plane. And you can see remnants of the isometric design on, like, the checkerboard at the beginning of the game. They just didn't have the technology to really make it work. So if the game was going to be 2D, how on earth were they going to make it look different than the other two sequels? Here's a very famous secret right here. You crouch down here for 5 seconds, so fall through, and you can exit the level via the background. So Miyamoto decided that we're gonna have to really redesign how everything looks. And at the time, Japan had competition with the PC Engine, and the Sega Master System was coming out. So, and those systems were really stretching the limits with the technology that the NES or the Famicom was really maxed out already on. So they decided to redesign everything. All the enemies were redesigned, even Mario was redesigned to be more modern. They wanted the game to be easy for newcomers to come along and gather lives in the early levels, but they wanted the later levels to be more for pro players. So there's an even mix, you know. If you're not so good at the game, but you accumulated lives, by the end, those lives will start to drain, but at least you have them. An interesting thing about these rooms, it doesn't matter what you pick. When you play the game, it's already pre-programmed what item will come out, no matter which box that you pick. This is I call it like a rail level, because you cannot control the movement. If you get a certain amount of coins here, you can unlock, I guess, another one of those mushroom huts. I'm probably not gonna do well though. Whoa, almost got pinched. I don't think I got enough. Maybe. Alright, we'll see what happens. See, I slowed down a little bit so I didn't get that last star. Let's see if I got a special... Nah, I guess not. Well, that's okay. Each world has a special level that if you collect a certain amount of coins, you get a white mushroom house. And you get a special item. I probably could have had a special suit or whatnot. But, one of the outfits or transformations for Mario was was a centaur, but it got rejected. Oh. So there's a secret in here. We don't have to get it because I want to show you the whole game. And this is one of the few games where Mario's actually wearing red over the black overalls and no gloves. I mean, if you go through all the other Mario games, he is dressed differently. Actually, I could show you the secret. Let me make a save point. And I can show you. Fly up here. And walk back across. Press up because there's a door there that you can't see. And here's a whistle. So what you can do is play the whistle, which is from The Legend of Zelda. You can even hear the tune. And I believe if you play the whistle again while you're in the warp hub, it'll bring you right to number 8. And there you go. And you're in the last world already. But we're not going to do that. We're going to play this full game through. And I want to show you Boom Boom. So, you know, you still have the Goombas in this game. The Koopa Troopas and the Hammer Bros. But they're all designed to be more modern. Luigi's in this game. You can play a 2-player mode. That's like the arcade, or one versus one. And you can even play 2-player mode in this adventure mode. Here's Boom Boom. If you ever beat him with a star on, that question mark that you pick up after he dies will actually be upside down. And the way 2-player works on this is that every time you beat a level, you can give it to your next, to the second player, and they can play Luigi, which is basically a palette swap of Mario. This is like a memory game. Alright, keep an eye out on that later on. And another big addition for characters in this game are the Koopalings. That's the instruction manual referred to them as Bowser's children, but now I think they kind of retconned that. Now they're just like parts of his family. But I like to consider them Bowser's kids. We don't know who the mama is. But I'll talk more about them when I get up to them. So, the plot of this game is that Bowser and the Koopalings are taking over the Mushroom Kingdom. And they're taking over each of the, I guess, the lands of the Mushroom World. And basically, the Koopalings conquer each of the 7 kingdoms by stealing the king's magical wand, and they transform each king into an animal. So, Toadstool, Princess Toadstool, sends Mario and Luigi to help. I mean, Mario was never big on plot. It was all about gameplay and level design. So obviously the game has improved the graphics, and the character graphics were created with a special graphics machine called Character Generator Computer Aided Design. And that basically generated a collection of different shapes that were used in the game. I mean, it clearly looks better than its predecessors. So, the special upgrade that the cartridge received with this game, you see how the platforms, by the way, are held together with lines and ropes? That all gives into the idea that this is a stage play, which I honestly didn't notice when I was little. I mean, obviously I saw the curtains in the beginning of the game, but I didn't really process that. But the special the cartridge uses a custom. It's called a memory management controller, and they called it the MMC3. And it basically enhanced the NES's capabilities. This chip allowed for animated tiles. It gave the extra RAM that I mentioned earlier for diagonal scrolling, and a scanline timer to split the screen. I haven't seen one of these in a long time. I think this was because I got all those extra lives in that other level. I was really abusing the thing to show you. I mean, it's very easy to accumulate lives in this game. So this is a great first game for a young child to play. And I would actually recommend it over the original Mario. Now, the music in this game is really catchy. It's another memorable part of the game, which basically everything was amazing with the game. Just a star? I thought they were giving me something else. Oh wow. Also, do you see the eyes on those bushes or whatever you want to call them? The eyes was a staple of Tezuka, and he started that with the Super Mario Brothers 2 for Japan. He wanted to put an eye on everything, on the clouds, and that kind of became a staple of the Mario series as well. He wanted to add more life to the surroundings. But the music that I was talking about, it was composed by Koji Kondo, who did all the Mario games. And like the last game, like I said in that video, usually the composer doesn't get involved with the development of the game. He'll compose the music without seeing the game or after the game has been made. But in the original Mario, Koji Kondo, he developed the theme, and all the music was based on the mood and the atmosphere of each of the levels. For this game, they wanted Kondo to come up with a new theme. And he would go on to say that it was the toughest job that he had in developing the theme. He ended up using a lot of percussion, and he ended up giving like a sort of like a Jamaican or a Latin fusion vibe to the theme, and it worked perfectly. It was a great theme. But you know, when you even hear the song later on, it kind of has like a almost like a vacation quality sound. It reminds you of like the beach. Here's one of the Koopalings. Who is that? I can't even remember the name. Now, if you beat that part with a special outfit, the king would say something different. That was actually Larry Koopa. He's the only Koopaling that's not named after somebody from pop culture. And if you want to know the American version of the Koopalings, they were given special names. Yeah, Ludwig von Koopa was named after Ludwig van Beethoven, and the hair is similar. That's basically where they got that from. Roy Koopa was named after Roy Orbison, the singer. And Wendy O. Koopa was named after Wendy O. Williams, the rocker. Iggy Koopa was named after Iggy Pop. Morton Koopa Jr. was named after Morton Downey Jr. And it was because of the fresh attitude. And Morton Downey Jr. started like the whole trash TV thing. And they thought Morton had some kind of... he had like a snide attitude towards him. Lemmy Koopa was named after Lemmy from Motorhead. And then you had Larry Koopa, who just looked like a Larry. And the designs of these characters were also loosely based on the developers. Each Koopaling had a quality that was similar to the developers that worked with Miyamoto. So now, you notice that each of the worlds have a different theme to them. And that would add to the variety of different graphics and backgrounds that you would see. Now you can spend all day breaking these up if you want. Time would run out. There's definitely something in the sky somewhere over here. There. See? I think you come out of that though. Might not be able to get up there now. So, if the game came out in 1988, how come it took so long to come to America in February of 1990? Well, because of the whole Super Mario Bros. 2 situation, where it was too difficult for the US to play at the time, it took time to turn Doki Doki Panic into the American version of Mario Bros. 2. So, by the time USA got Super Mario Bros. 2, it was already 1988. So there really wasn't a super rush. You don't want to release the games too soon. Also, in 1988 there was a big shortage of the ROM chips for the cartridges. There were so many games being produced by so many companies, and alright. Was that luck or did I know that was there? You can decide. There is an opportunity to get a white mushroom, but I don't know if I got it again. Or I got something. Yeah, so with all the companies making video games, there was a shortage of the ROM chips. And Nintendo would use that as an excuse to say, well, that's why we didn't make third parties make so many games. But in reality, Nintendo, they wanted to be in charge of their own company. They didn't want third-party members to have an unlimited amount of games they can make. They were protecting themselves. And, you know, I can agree with that. But without these chips, the third-party companies were really cut short by Nintendo. And Nintendo, where they would make, like, a company like Konami make 5 games a year, or 10 games a year, they would cut that number in half, or say, well, you can only make 3 games this year. And they didn't like that. They thought that Nintendo was hoarding the chips for themselves. An interesting thing about the Boo is shy when you look at it, and when you look away, it's angry. That's actually based on Tezuka's wife, who was known to be very shy, but also have a lot of outbursts of anger. So that character's behavior is modeled off of that developer's wife. Think I can run under that? Yes. I wonder if there's something over here. If you time that right, you can always get that. So, you know, with this chip shortage, a lot of games weren't being produced, and that led to a lot of headaches for parents trying to get games for their kids. Nintendo had a hard time keeping the supply chain moving. So, you had the delay based on the release dates of certain games that were skewed from the Japanese release dates. And then you had this chip shortage. So, you would also see a lot of hints in Nintendo Power that new Super Mario Bros. Was coming, but they didn't really go into too many details. And can you imagine being a kid wanting to play, you couldn't wait for this game to come out, you'd wait every month, and you'd see another sentence or two, or another line being dropped, mentioning Super Mario Bros. 3. Well, eventually, in 1989, Tom Pollock, he was a member of Universal Studios, he approached Nintendo of America, he approached their marketing department about making a video game movie. And he basically wanted to have a I'm probably gonna die here. He wanted a children's version of the movie Tommy, based on the Who's Pinball Wizard. He wanted like a children's version of that movie. So, you know, he approached the development team, and they were adamant about having this movie. And it was inspired by Nintendo's video game competitions that they would have. There was a lot of video game contests that were featured. It stinks when you're small over here. I wonder if I can, oh my goodness. There's nothing really over here. I'm just having fun. Sometimes you can kill yourself and come back with an item so you can explore more. So, you know, Nintendo licensed its products. And that movie, The Wizard, was made. And I don't know if you remember it, that's the movie with Fred Savage. And he had a little kid that wanted to go to California. And it was basically, it wasn't a good movie. It was basically a 90-minute commercial for Nintendo products. They had the Power Glove in it. There were different games like Rad Racer. But the final scene was a video game competition, and that was how American audiences saw. It was like deja vu. That's how the audiences saw this game for the first time. And besides the magazine, that was the only way that people would know about this game in America. Because it had been out in Japan, like I said, for over a year. So, of course, the movie, I think it actually did well because everyone wanted to see Super Mario 3. They didn't care about the plot or anything. That's gotta be the scariest level. So, you know, the film actually came out in December of '89. And obviously that was in between the release of the Japanese, the release of the game in Japan and here. So, you know, by that time, this game was probably the most anticipated game ever. It had to be. And, you know, you can even argue to this day, it's probably the most anticipated game ever. And, interestingly enough, for inspiration, because sometimes the developers would, you know, hit a roadblock. For inspiration, Miyamoto took everybody to Disneyland in Orlando, and they were inspired by a lot of the rides and things that they saw, and they realized that Cinderella's castle was the center of, you know, the whole park, and it's kind of the inspiration for having the castle here. It's pretty much an outline of like an amusement park, although there's no actual, I don't think there's actually been any article or anything where the developers indicated that Disneyland was an inspiration for them. But it's hard not to see the comparison because they did go to Disney. Let's see. I want to get the flower. I mean, the leaf. Watch me lose it now. This level's famous for taking the northern path. There we go. One of these is a P block. I don't know which one it is. It was probably this one right here. No. There. It's been so long, I can't remember everything. But when Mario came out, it sold 17 million copies, and it would become the third highest selling game of all time, and that was NES game. And the reason why Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt were ahead was because it was bundled together and with the actual system. And this game was unbundled. And there was a huge ad campaign, a $25 million ad campaign, and it paid off because the revenue of this game, I think in the first year, was about 500 million. And altogether, it's estimated that this game grossed $1.7 billion. And eventually, the game did get bundled with newer versions of the NES. And because of this game and the special chip that was used in it that could be used for future games, the life of the NES was expanded. That's why it lasted so long. I mean, I think the last NES game was made might have been Kirby, and I don't really know. I think it might have been 1993. So the NES lasted about 8 years. Started in '85. And here's a chain chomp. It's the first time you see a chain chomp. The chain chomp was actually inspired by a real life incident. When Miyamoto was a child, he was chased by his neighbor's dog until it was yanked back by its chain. And there you can see that's a perfect representation of that traumatizing experience in his life. If you allow the chain chomp to tug on his chain 49 times, he will escape from the block he's attached to. That probably scared the hell out of kids playing this game if they just stood there waiting, or they went inside to get a drink and they came back and they saw the chain chomp escape. I think we'll let him escape just to show it off. But the success of this game, hey look, it's about to break free. I hope he doesn't attack me. He does. Congratulations. But the success of this game made Nintendo move ahead of Toyota in terms of top Japanese companies. So imagine that. And they said in America, the game continued making the NES the top selling toy for the third straight year, and that was 87, 88, 89. And even releasing the game in the first quarter of 1990. Usually technology sells well during that quarter, but you know, it was a bit of a risk being after Christmas. It really did not matter. And they can also afford to wait, Nintendo, because they also released the Game Boy. So, you know, Nintendo had a steady line of products coming out. I gotta watch my time. That chain chomp was gonna ruin it all. Well, time is running out. I gotta hurry up. We got plenty of time. So, you know, with the success of Mario, Mario was officially the mascot of Nintendo, even before this game came out. But because of the success of this game, Sega started its quest for a mascot by, they quickly got into production of Sonic the Hedgehog. And that would come out a year after this was released in America. But, you know, everything about this game works and it improved upon the other Mario games. And the game is seen as one of the greatest of all time. That's not gonna work, is it? That's alright. So I can use a hammer to break this down. You'll need the frog suit for future world. And there's another whistle. So we actually had, I could have had 3 whistles. But we're gonna play the game straight through. Usually when looking at the greatest games of all times on internet articles or magazine publications, this game is in the top 10, if not number 1. When describing the best Mario game, people often go back and forth between this one and Super Mario World for the NES. You see the lights here, the 2 lights? Purple? I don't remember it being purple. That was weird. And when Howard Phillips got this game to try it out, he wasn't disappointed like the last time. He gave the game rave reviews. He said it was the 2nd highest game he ever rated, and I guess he rates them in his head because he said he would never reveal what the number 1 rated game was in his mind. And this game would be in like the top 10 or 20 games in Nintendo Power Magazine, and 5 years later, it was still in the top 20. Sounds like something opened up. Yeah, right here. I've been doing a bad job at memorizing these things. A terrible job I've been doing. bouncing back. Here we go. Oh, that's where we end the line. Alright, that's 10. I think I got that last time. Alright, let's take on the second airship. So, within the first 2 days of coming out, the game sold 250,000 copies already. So, what do you think is better, Mario 3 or Super Mario World? Now, Super Mario World has better graphics and Yoshi in it. It's really hard to tell. It had a better overworld map. It was more interactive. And it was kind of like one long connection. And you could replay the levels over and over again. But Mario 3 had the airships like this. This guy's gonna be tough. That's alright. That's Morton, I believe. See, now if you didn't beat all the levels, the airship can sometimes be in an area where you have to go do a level now to get to it. Oh, I keep messing up. I think that's Rocky Wrench, I'm not sure. Once the game came out, Nintendo Power released a strategy guide for the first time. It was, I think, their first strategy guide ever. And I actually have it. And it detailed all the characters and secrets. And it was like a #1 selling magazine. But in Japan, Mario was so popular that I think when the first Mario Brothers came out, the #1 selling book in Japan was actually the strategy guide for the game. In the I like looking at how each king looks different. In like 1991, game developers John Carmack, his brother, Tom Hall, and John Romero, they developed an adaptive tile refresh technology. It's basically a fancy way of saying they were able to port the game onto a computer. And they basically made a clone of this game and they gave it to Nintendo. They figured Nintendo would license them and then they would sell the game. So Nintendo would benefit by having it on a PC, and these guys would also get paid. But Nintendo rejected it because Nintendo likes to be exclusive. They don't like fan-made games. Perfect example is with somebody made a remake of the Metroid 2. And it was actually a great game, but Nintendo never, they got it removed. And shortly after, they actually made their own version of Metroid 2, The Return of Samus. So it was interesting enough, if you know your game history, those people I mentioned, the Carmack brothers, Hall and Romero, they wouldn't be too upset that they were rejected by Nintendo. They would just go on to found id Software, which ended up being the developers for Wolfenstein 3D and Doom. So I think they went on to be very successful. That's a death trap, right? Waiting to happen. I was just curious. I could use my frog suit next time. And those guys ended up making Commander Keen, which was more the style of Mario. Part of me kind of wants to die so I can use my frog suit. Wow. I was never a fan of water levels or water worlds. I mean, but the Mario games, I wasn't a big fan of them. Not a big fan of Meridia and Super Metroid, although that's my favorite game. Not a big fan of the Water Temple in Zelda. Can I spawn that platform back? I don't know. Yes, I can. I'm gonna go back. I'm probably gonna die. That's alright. You can run out of items, so you don't want to hoard too many of them, and then you're gonna have a problem deleting some. Although you'll need them for later on. How did I hit that? Oh my goodness. I thought there was a coin thing here, that's why I wanted to get all the coins. But I might just be wasting my time. Oh, that's a killer. cheap. That's cheap from a cheap, right? Wouldn't that be easier what I just did? Now, wasn't I not on his head, directly on his head? I ain't taking any chances. I took enough. Now we got 2 frog suits. This is the point of the game too, where you can recognize that the difficulty is getting up there. This is the debut of Big Bertha. A terrible character in the Mario universe. You can kill Big Bertha like that, but true evil never dies. Isn't there something else over there? Of course, I have to check everything out. There we go. That wasn't so bad, was it? Usually this level gives people a lot of trouble. It's funny how, at the end of the day, nobody really remembers the Wizard movie, but they sure remember this game. One up. 20. That was a lucky guess. Was this the one up? Alright. Oh, where was that? Wasn't I just there? there's actually 8 different boards of the memory card game. I think altogether this game takes up 3 megabytes of space. Can you imagine that? I forgot to say that the other level, Swamp, it was Twomp's debut. I know there's nothing here. Just checking it out. I just want to show you everything in the game. I think you might get a leaf here instead. Yeah. Take the leaf. You see that checkered floor? That's a remnant of the isometric floor that they were going to use. And you can't double up on items like Super Mario World. Alright, here we go. See, he had wings in the first time I stamped on him. If you didn't give him a chance, you'd use those wings to fly around. That should be good, no? Yes. Alright, we got those lives back that we wasted. So I have a... No, I don't have a hammer. These pipes are basically warp points to get from one pipe to another, but they're really useless. Let me see what this level is. I really want to use my frog suit. Yeah, pretty sure the next one is. This is an example of using the slopes. Miyamoto's direction on the Mario games was that it's an athletic game. Meaning that you can run, jump in a space, and his goal was to make Mario even more athletic. And since we're still gonna play on a 2D plane, how can I get up there now? Can I just run anywhere and fly? What he wanted to do was add new features that illustrated Mario's athleticism, and one of them was having him slide down the slope. Another one was to have Mario pick up the shells. Hurry up. If you get all of them, I could have had something. I think when the level ended, I would have had another shot at the memory game or whatever. Maybe I get another go at that P switch. That was so much more difficult with the raccoon tail. You can really hear the percussions when you die. Oh, this is impossible. Little Mario, there's no way. You probably have like a 10% chance of winning this. Don't fall down on the bottom. You know, there's your 10% chance of winning right there. By the way, I'm playing on the Switch version, which means I have a big bulky Switch controller instead of the NES controller. Double trouble, can you believe that? I couldn't do anything about this one. We have to do it all over again. That's what I get for bragging, huh? Wow. I basically gotta do this fight. That's a bit madness right there. Alright. Where did that last hammer come from? Did you see that? I was gonna use star if I had access to the match screen. Without being forced in here. I guess I can use the, no, I'm gonna save the hammer for now. I might need it for something else. Now we'll see how far I get in this world. If I can beat it, that would be great. If I can't, we'll continue another time. Flying Goombas is also a new character, I believe. I just played the original, I can't even remember. Doesn't matter. This game was ported or remade on several of the Nintendo consoles. The one I remember is Super Mario All-Stars. So it's funny, I was like 3 years old when this game came out. And just 3 years later, they already had a different version of this game with better graphics for the SNES. So pretty much once I got up to that game, I never went back to the NES games. I always played them from Super Mario All-Stars. The main reason was you didn't have to blow on the cartridge. Alright, we're going frog suit. Here we go. You can move so much faster on the water with this outfit. And he can also jump higher, I believe. But if you use the frog suit, and you can also go against the current. Sometimes you can go in a pipe. But if you go on land, I mean, you're in for some trouble. Oh, always pull it to the right away. It's like, that was like a natural reflex, just this veer to the right. This is the perfect song that Kondo did that fits the mood of the water. Now I'm pretty much stuck with this outfit. And I actually got the star. That never worked out. But anyway, the game was also, it was released on the Wii as well, the Virtual Console. The Game Boy Advance version was called Super Mario Advance 4. Oh, the suit on a rail stage. This should be fun. Alright. Okay. See, now we're at the stage of the game. We're at the stage of the game now where it's becoming hard for beginners, and it's becoming a pretty sweet challenge for expert players. Grab one of these blocks over the pit and you're in big trouble. There was definitely a P somewhere over there. And then we got this part. Alright. Alright, we're not gonna skip. We're just gonna do all the levels. I forget these guys' names. Are they Spikes? Spike? I think his name is Spike. I feel like I'm missing something here. I guess we're good. Is there something in the sky, maybe? Can't even get to the sky. Oh. I was actually gonna go back. Yeah, it kind of sucks that you can't go back to the level. Ah. So I think there'll always be a debate on whether this is better than Super Mario World and vice versa. But once the 16-bit Sega came out, and they started marketing Sonic the Hedgehog, that really started the console wars of 1990s. And, you know, other companies were jealous that Mario was such a big seller. They wanted to, you know, make their own mark on the video game industry. But, one day I'll play Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, it's a great game, but I prefer Mario over Sonic by a long shot. And I always remember the commercial. Sega does what Nintendo don't. Star? No? Alright. Here's another tough level. This might be my least favorite world. I mean, you can see why. That was really a waste. Went right in his mouth. That was like, I didn't even know if I avoided him. It just completely disappeared. Ah. Uh-oh, same thing as last time. Here we go. Alright. Obviously, this has to be a, wow, he bit me again. I guess I can use a star. Alright, it's getting late. I'm getting careless. This is one of those levels, I think, where I can get a certain amount of coins. I will get a white mushroom. I don't remember having to take this level so slow before. I don't remember taking all these beanstalks. Don't blow it, man. No, it's a risk. You want me to go down there? Let's do it. Oh no. Think I should get that coin? Whoever designed Big Bertha, don't like you. Well, the artist of the game was Takashi Tezuka, Hideki Kono, and Hiroyuki Kimura, and Miyamoto. So one used to design Big Bertha. A lot of people play these games so much. They started changing up the style in which they played. They would try to beat the game. They would try to beat the game without touching the coin, or try not to stomp on an enemy's head, just to add replay value to the game. This could be a suicide mission. I could try it. Oh. I think I can go underneath this, right? I don't think I can go behind anything, though. No. If you had a, oh. I know what that leads to. It's not worth it. I always thought these ice blocks were pretty cool. Ah! That pipe would be where you come down. If I were able to get in that area that I wanted to go to. This should give me a secret. Yeah. What? Did I really touch that? Oh well. It's kind of crazy. I definitely didn't touch that. game giving me a little push. So can you imagine getting Mario Bros. 2 in America? Then a year later, just over a year later, getting the Game Boy, and Mario Bros. 3, and then Super Nintendo comes out. It was a great time to be a kid. So I'm gonna get these little extra items here before I end the night. See, I know what I'm doing. Sometimes. Oops. I totally did not mean to do that. Well, I don't want to warp. Ugh, I'm gonna have to go all the way back now. Right? There's no way to get out of here now. I'm gonna have to go back now. Oh, so annoying. I think lately I'm due for a big mistake every night lately. See, I never want to make save states because I don't want to get criticized that I am playing cheap. But I'm really making save states to save myself from making dumb mistakes, like warping ahead in the game. That was such a careless mistake. And I had the thing wrapped around me too. Wow. We accomplished so much too. Alright. See that whistle is the first item there, so if you click the items and touch it real quick, you get screwed. You basically have to do like 6 levels now. Alright, hopefully I stay alive now. Let's see if we can speed through this. I still want to get all the items, you know? I can't believe I got stuck having to do this over again. Now the reason that the reason that I don't want to go for the warps is because I have a few rules with my videos. One, it's to show the complete game. If there is 100% kind of meter that measures your rate or advancement in the game, I want to show you 100%. So warping is usually out of the question all the time. Another purpose of my video is I want to inform you some facts and information about the game. This is such an important game that I had to go a little deeper into the history, which is alright. I don't mind, and I hope you guys don't mind. If not, you can always mute me. But that's why I restarted, because I would have missed the whole ending of this world and World 4. There should be a thing, are you sure you want to use the whistle? Because basically anytime I make that mistake, if I didn't save, I'm going to have to go back to my last save. So, you know, I think from time to time, it takes 1 second, but I'm going to do this. It's not like I'm going to worry about going down to 0 lives. So I have to do that big burp level too. Big mistake. I knew that was gonna happen. And I'm gonna have to do 5 more levels. So now you know I'm definitely not gonna finish this world tonight. I do want to get up to the castle though. I knew there was a P here. Well, I guess it gives me an opportunity to go back one more time. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's try to get through these levels. Whoa, we didn't get that last time. Well, now we can kind of blaze through these levels. Since we already went through them. Oh, I gotta do this again too. Remember how much I accomplished here? Oh, I believe the 10 is here. Okay. If anything, we get more practice. It's amazing how short these levels are now. This level. It's funny how this wasn't on the water now, because of the land, the area that it was up to on the map. Alright, let's see where we can go. I'm in business now. You can't tail whip when you're under the water. Last time the time was running out at this point. Good. And I feel like I actually accomplished more this time around. Alright, what I wanted to do, I'm saving it. Would have been really funny if I opened my load. So, I'll do this later, next time, but I do want to show you something. See this last area here? What does that look like? It's Japan. It's the islands of Japan, and where the castle is almost the exact location where Nintendo headquarters would be on the map of Japan. Now that is knowledge. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, because I know I did, despite my my mistakes that I make. But enjoy the rest of your night or morning. Get some rest. And I will see you soon.